What is up, guys? It is K Swan with Road Rash Off-Road, and I'm super excited about what is coming for 2024. I'm currently in pre-planning for my overlanding trips for the first half of the year. Now, a lot of these trips include the Big Frog Loop, which we've done before in Georgia, the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, which is in eastern Kentucky. We're also going to do Turkey Bay and go after some of those badge of honors that's also in Kentucky. And then also one of my favorite trips that I'm looking forward to is Cape Lookout in North Carolina. It's right off the banks of Outer Banks, a desolate island that's going to take us out there on our Jeeps and kind of drop us off on a 50+ mile blank sand as long as you can see. But while I'm evaluating and pre-planning for a lot of these trips, a couple of things came to mind. I need to reevaluate my overlanding rig for this year. I've decided that this year, 2024, I'm going to dive in and put a rooftop tent on the Road Rash Jeep. Super excited about this. This is a monumental change for our overlanding game for Road Rash. Now, this in turn has had me evaluate a couple of things in order to achieve that goal. First and foremost, my roof rack. Now, I love the roof rack that I'm carrying right now. This is the Defender basket style roof rack by Smittybilt. Perfect for what my needs were and helped me get through 2 years of overlanding trips, throwing my gear and packing out my gear up there. It's been a perfect roof rack. However, it is not conducive for a roof rack. Now, two specific needs that I've identified for a roof rack for this Jeep is, one, most importantly, it needs to be able to hold the weight dynamically and static for a rooftop tent. Now, two, I don't want to lose the unique abilities of a Jeep. When I'm not overlanding during the summer, I love riding naked in this Jeep. I like taking the doors off, I like taking the roof off, putting my master top on, and that's how I cruise during the summertime. Some of the roof racks that require a rooftop tent require you to fixate that roof rack to the frame of the Jeep, either the roll cage or the frame, like the Gobi rack. The Gobi rack is a really big, bulky, skeleton-looking thing that kind of goes around the Jeep. You've probably seen those. You can still remove the top, but it makes it very difficult to do something like that. Out of all of the roof racks that I've researched, there's one roof rack that has come to mind that fits everything that I need for this Jeep, and that is the Rhino Rack Backbone system. Now, the Backbone system has a skeleton that goes inside of the hardtop that bolts to your factory bolts. It is a permanent solution to the Jeep, so you will have to drill into the Jeep and put that rack on top, but you won't have to do anything else when it comes to removing the hardtop during the summertime, and it holds all the load that I need for a rooftop tent. Let's go back to the Road Rash office, take off this Defender rack, and begin the install of our new Rhino Rack Backbone system. Let's go. Into the light now, So we're back here at the Road Rash garage, and before we pull the Jeep in to remove our Defender roof rack, I just want to do a walk around and show you guys this roof rack, the installation, and how it's been really helpful for me for the last 2 years. I really love this roof rack. Let's take a look at it. So the installation of this roof rack is super quick and super simple. It just clips right onto the rain gutters here. You tighten it down with this, I believe it's a 13mm, and it just grabs right into that rain gutter. Now the rear is a little bit more sturdy than most basket style roof racks that I have seen. This is an L bracket with 2 bolts here that screws into the bracket that holds the glass onto the top. So this literally just slides right into it, and it adds a lot of stability on this roof rack. So real quick, I just want to take a couple of measurements from the top of the Jeep to the top of the rack, just so you kind of know what kind of distance you're looking at. From the top of the Jeep, you're right at 6 inches to the top of the rack. Now your space from the top of the Jeep to the platform is right at 2 inches. So first I want to say I love this roof rack by Smittybilt. You guys have done a fantastic job building a quality product. It has definitely held up over the last 2 years of overlanding for me. If you've watched any of my videos, then you know that I've packed this thing out to the max with jerry cans, tents, recovery gear, toolboxes. I even climbed up there myself to wrench things on and off. So it is a fantastic roof rack. However, it's only rated for about 150 pounds, and we're going to need something a little bit more substantial to hold our rooftop tent. Let's back this thing in the garage. We're going to remove this Defender roof rack off the top, spend a little bit of TLC kind of cleaning up some hard to reach spaces, and then we'll prep it to get that backbone system installed on the rooftop. So throughout the uninstall and reinstall of this roof rack on the Jeep, you're gonna see me use something really freaking cool and really unique. About 2 years ago, I designed a DIY hardtop hoist to help me remove my hardtop and store it in my tiny little garage. If you guys are interested in seeing that video, click this link right up here. It's a really freaking cool video. But I'm going to be using the same hoist to strap onto the roof rack to remove it from this hardtop and then help me install the platform to the new hardtop, making it a one-person job, not a two-person job. So the first thing we're going to have to do is come in and remove all of these roof lights, which are wired down the post here and into the back window. We're going to have to relocate these throughout the Jeep, but right now we've got to remove these so we can take our roof rack off of the Jeep. All right, we are all strapped on. Let's lift it off. Easy as that. Pull the Jeep out, we can let it down. So now we got the rack off. I just want to see, as a comparison, how much this one weighs. 52.2 pounds is the Smittybilt Defender roof rack. Let's see how it holds up against backbone platform. We used our hoist to remove our roof rack here. We're going to pull the lights off, kind of clean up the Jeep a little bit, and it will be ready for our new backbone system. You guys, we have spent a lot of time washing and cleaning and prepping this Jeep and getting it ready for our new platform system by Rhino Rack. Look at the top. It actually looks black now. This is so cool. We spent a lot of TLC getting this thing ready. And we put our platform system together so it is ready to go on the Jeep. But I want to show you guys something really cool. In this box right here behind me is my new rooftop tent. It got delivered today and I'm so excited. So if you guys are interested to know which rooftop tent that I went with, or you're interested to see the install of this new rooftop tent. Like and subscribe to Road Rash Off-Road because I'm going to be doing a review video and an install video on this rooftop tent. Come back and watch that video. But for now, let's get this Jeep in the garage. Let's pull the top off and get ready to put our backbone system on. So like I said, if you guys haven't seen this video of how I built this DIY hardtop hoist, this is exactly what it was made for. Go back and watch that video. So now that we got the top off the Jeep, we're going to pull the Jeep out, lower the top, and then that way we can gain easy access to be able to drill our holes into the top and install the backbone system. So this lowers the top just low enough where I can gain access to all of the panels that I need to drill my holes in. So the good thing is Rhino Rack makes this pretty self-explanatory with this little template here. Front of the vehicle here, gutter, here's your holes for this side, rear of the vehicle. So what we want to do is just kind of fold this down into the gutter, make sure it sits all the way down in there. And then we want to line this. There was a dotted line right here. It said fold or cut. See right there? So I cut it. So we want to line this up with the very front. Make sure it's all the way down in the gutter. We're going to line this up really good. And we're just going to make a couple little dots. We got two little dots right there. So that's going to be our 1/4 inch drill here. And then we're going to have to do a step bit to open up these holes. Now right here on our middle piece, we're supposed to put this here, line it up with this bottom line here, up against the gutter guard, and then we'll mark our holes. So we'll push it all the way flush. We're lined here. We're all the way up against our gutter guard. And now we mark our holes here. Here we go. Now we mark the back and then we can drill. Now with the back piece here, you can see there's only one way for it to fit, and we're gonna line it right here with the back of the top. Make sure that we're lined here on this bottom piece like we were. And you can feel it, it fits really snug. And as soon as it's there, put our two holes. Now we're ready to drill. So now that we got all of our holes marked, this comes the scary part. Nobody ever likes drilling into their hardtop, but it's a necessary evil to get this thing installed. So we're going to start with a 1/8 drill bit and kind of spot drill every one of these holes first. No turning back. All right, so now everything is spot drilled with the 1/8. We're going to drill out just the back ones, these two and these two, with a 1/4. So because this is fiberglass, it doesn't take much. It just goes straight through. Also, because it's fiberglass, It should be relatively easy to patch with the little fiberglass patch kit if you happen to mess up, but don't mess up. I spent all day cleaning this top today, and now it looks like it had a good night at the club. You know what I mean? So now that we've got the 1/4 inch, we got all the holes in the back drilled, the last thing that we need to do before we can install, we need to take our step down bit, 18 millimeters on this side, 16 millimeters on the inside. We're going to open up this hole for the front bracket. So the bottom holes here get pushed through at 16. So I was trying to drill out the bottom ones first, but the bit needs to come through the hole, so we got to do the top one first. This one's going to go down to 18. And that's it. I got all the holes drilled. As you can tell, the fiberglass is everywhere. 1/4 inch back here in the back, 18 on the top, 16 millimeter on the bottom. Now we can start installing some pieces. So here's the moment of truth. If we drilled our holes right, everywhere that I've read said that we need to put Loctite on these, and I have looked everywhere and I can't find any freaking Loctite. All right, let's see if this fits. So it looks like the holes were misaligned on the bottom. When I read the directions, it said go in at a 90 degrees, and since this is curved, I went in at a 90 degrees like this, but it actually meant 90 degrees straight down, which is not, that's my bad. So when they say 90 degrees, that doesn't mean 90 degrees with the angle of the top, that means 90 degrees straight down. Like a glove. And now we'll put our piece on the bottom here. Now we'll have to watch closely on leaks coming out of here, since I had to drill those holes just a little bit bigger. Now once we install the back pieces here, we're going to have to drill one more hole in the top once it's already on. And we'll slide this middle piece in, and then we'll fasten it to the bracket on the inside. Let's attach our backbone to the inside. We can screw everything down. Okay, so when it comes to the skeleton on the inside of the backbone system, these are side specific, so this is the passenger side. We're gonna run this straight up in here, and it should fit right on top of our little pins that are right here. Shift that over. There you go. We'll pull this up and hook it onto Let's put the other side on and we'll tighten everything down. Okay, so an update from yesterday. We got the backbone system installed. We got the holes drilled. We got everything put in as far as the framework. I had to stop late last night because it just got too dark and I was going to dinner with my family. But today we're going to pick it back up. I went ahead and stopped by the store on the way home this morning and I picked up some Loctite. So I'm going to go ahead and put Loctite on this. I've heard so many stories on YouTube from other people who have this system that these screws just rattle themselves loose on the trail and off-road. So instead of having to go back and fix it at a later time, I'm going to go ahead before I even finish the install and throw some Loctite on these screws. Take care of it now. Once I finish that, we will go ahead and put the platform system on there. But first, we're going to have to install the brackets that go onto the front. We have to install this into the A-pillar of the Jeep. So in order to install this bracket, it's super easy. It's just 3 bolts. You're going to go here just behind the driver door, pull back your Velcro, unzip this. And so this is a 13 millimeter. We're going to take out this one, and then there's one here on the side. Just set these off to the side. We're going to reinstall them. Take your angle bracket, line them up on the holes, and then just reinstall the screws back into the Jeep. We'll just take this padding, zip it back up. And now that part of our installation is done. So I'm just going to pop in here really quick, loosen up this framework, add a little Loctite, screw it back down, make sure everything's tight. Then we can install it on the Jeep, add the platform. We loosened everything up, put a little Loctite on it, tightened everything down so this backbone system is ready to go. Let's get this thing up in the air. And we are going to pull the Jeep in, set the hardtop on the Jeep, and then we'll be ready to install our platform system. Okay, so as I mentioned previously, the very last hole we need to drill is once everything's installed, there's a hole right here. This is already in place, so you can't really mess it up. Just take your 1/4 inch, drill straight through the top. Man, that stuff gets everywhere. Take your washer, set it down in there, and then take your supplied screw goes through. And now we put this on the inside. We're going to add a little Loctite here also. All right, so the last piece of the puzzle, I'm going to take a couple of measurements, hole to hole, this way, and then also this way, so that I could tentatively put the feet on the platform in the space that it needs to be. See if we can match it up here. I want to see what a weight comparison is on these tops. This is the Rhino Rack. 9.1. So it's a little bit heavier. We're going to see if this thing fits. Let's get it on the hoist. Okay, so now that I've got it tentatively in place, I've still got a little bit of tension on my hoist so that I could shift it around and move it into place. Makes it super, super easy. We can go ahead, kind of just eyeball some of these, put them in place. We're just gonna hand tighten them right now while we get all of them in. So as a comparison on the height, we're gonna measure this from the top of the hardtop to the top of our roof rack, and it's right at 4.5 inches. Now your room underneath looks like it's right at 3 inches that you have to put your hand under there and do any work underneath of the roof rack. So the install of this backbone Rhino Rack platform was super simple. It was so easy. Really, the hardest part of this whole install was just positioning these little feet and tightening in this little thing with the Allen wrench. I love this thing. It is so low profile. It is going to be awesome for what we need with the rooftop tent. Now, as far as weight, I'm told that this will hold a dynamic weight of about 260 pounds. That's the weight whenever the vehicle is moving and we're on the trail. Now my rooftop tent is about 160 pounds. Throw some jerry cans up there, that's perfect. Now the static weight whenever we're stopped and we're at camp, I'm told is around 700 to 800 pounds, which is perfect for me and maybe my wife getting inside the tent. This roof rack is gonna be perfect for what we need. Now, I also love that the skeleton on the inside that is built into the frame of this hardtop is going to still enable us to remove the hardtop as easy as possible when it comes to the summertime. Now, some highlights that I want to note is you are working with fiberglass. So what I noticed last night is my hands were itching like crazy after drilling and wiping things away. So you might want to wear maybe some rubber gloves or something. Also, this front piece here, whenever the directions say drill at a 90 degrees, that means 90 degrees straight down, not 90 degrees to the curvature of the hardtop. Now, the other thing I want to notate is wind noise. Does it have wind noise? Absolutely. If you notice, the front of this hangs over the T-tops. Now, my previous roof rack came way back here, so I didn't hear it at all. This one, you can definitely hear some wind noise, but how often do I actually ride with the T-tops off of the Jeep? Very rarely. Now, the reason why we actually switched out the Defender for the backbone is because this year we are installing a rooftop tent. Now, if you want to see which rooftop tent that we went with and watch the review and the install of that rooftop tent, like and subscribe to this video because I am going to be installing and reviewing the rooftop tent that we chose for this rig, and come along with us on all of our overlanding trips this year. See you guys on the next video. Road Rash out.